So I'm looking at the DCT from the passenger side. This is a 2020 GT500. And the topic here is the lines that feed the return and the feed for the DCT that run up to the cooler. So this pair of lines, maybe about where your feet would be in the footwell, attached to another pair of lines, and then that runs to the cooler. But anyway, the issue or potential issue for some is that where these lines terminate and go up and into the case, and again, there's two of them, there's a flange there. I think you can see that right there, a bolt. The issue is sometimes these tubes are not square or do not go perpendicular into the case. They may get cocked in the bore. There's a pair of seals in there. Some have claimed that the swaging of the flange has caused cracks or cracks in the lines, and that's why they leak. Bottom line is you don't want to be out of town and have your lines take a dump on you and potentially ruin a rather expensive transmission just because of this design. Ford did update the design. It didn't look like they did much, but you'll notice on, I think it was 21 or 22s, this flange might be a blue color. And that was it. What exactly did they do? I can't say. There was a suggestion from Ford, I think it was in an SSM, to grind these nubs off or chisel them off. You see them on this side. They also exist on the other side where the flange sits up against the case on both of these. Meaning that if you took that nub off, that somehow the flange would no longer be cocked, that it would be flush to the case. Not too impressed with that. But bottom line, just wanted to show you, this was the factory installed line assembly that some have had issue with.
And here's the new line assembly. Now, this line assembly was designed for the Dark Horse SC. It's 5.2 liter with pretty much the exact same DCT that the GT500 models had before it. So this is the latest line, or the line that's going into those cars, and it's been specified as a replacement part for the 20 to 22 GT500s as well. So as far as I can tell, it does indeed mirror what we have in there, the brackets that attach it to the DCT. It's only when you get up near the end, these rubber connections, and then these two fittings, which are completely different than what we had before. And in my view, a huge improvement that should mitigate any potential for leakage with the lines at the DCT. So what I've done is I have a pair of cutoffs of the lines that went into the DCT. You can see for a GT500, there's the flange, there's one of the seals. There's actually supposed to be another seal that's on there, but for illustration purposes, that's what I've got. One of them was longer, the tails that goes into the DCT for the GT500. It looks to me like that may be insignificant for whatever reason, because the replacement pieces that go in are the same length. They're not different front to rear. But anyway, back to this flexible connection and the fittings at the end. So basically what they've designed is, a new hose assembly with ends that are rubber, and then a machined end that will allow another fitting to go into it and to swivel, which is good. It allows for some movement. And those fittings right here, now this is all new. We didn't have this stuff before with the GT500. So this is a new, completely new part, and this is necessary to have these fittings with this hose assembly. So what they did was they added a much thicker flange to these pieces, so they should absolutely stay square to the line. So the flange, as it runs across, should stay perpendicular to the line that runs in. The original stamped assemblies with the little nubs, where are they? Where's the nubs? They're on there. Not the best idea. Much thicker flange on the new piece versus the old piece. I can't say these are, I'd have to look at the material. It's actually listed on the side, but these are obviously kind of a stamped and then cut flange that are put together into one piece. But what happens is these new pieces
fit inside here. Let's see if I can do it. And then they snap in place. So if I take it, push it, there we go. Now I can swivel. Not really a lot of movement side to side, that kind of thing, but that's good. I love it. 100% better way of doing it than when you had the tube with the flange that was very thin that you hope stayed square. So the part number for the little tubes, again, I think I showed it before, but it's right there. You need 2 of them. This is what's going on the Dark Horse SC, and these will be the replacements for the 20 to 22 GT500. Much better design than what we had, and what I had in 20 with mine.